rolling into comments one more time again because Rollen is running behind. Uh, you'd think I'd pick up speed with all that rolling I do, but it appears I'm rolling on a flat plane or slightly uphill at best. G. Balmer, you're welcome for the kids, Rock for Kids. I appreciate the depth of the commenting, so you're getting a little front and center attention. This is the third time I started my comments video because I've been rambling about work. A new security camera in the kitchen is making me very uncomfortable when I felt a moral and ethical worker and now have to be a robotic slave. I'm just sad about it all. But I digress. I got some questions here I'd like to answer because new to the channel, maybe, hey, even the fair weather fans and the haters might be interested. But I liked my disclaimer in the Kids Rock for Kids, and that's basically, hey, all my stuff is checked, not for kids. I'm not worthy. I'm not an influencer. I cannot influence children outside of my own kids, and then that's personal, and it wouldn't be Rolling. It would be, Randy. So, yeah, but if they wanted to attract independent kids, I might have a good pitch. Everything you're not supposed to do, I do. Don't listen. That's actually very wise because that's the truth. Uh, when we put the sidekeep off the grass, what's the first a-hole do? Go on the grass. Yeah, I know. It's just there's a problem with us, I think, as a whole. So I'm asked if I wrote. And I wrote lyrics for a band. A guitarist and I got something like 50 songs copywritten. I'm not saying they're the best. They exist and they're ours. I've shared a couple of lyrical contents. I got in a car accident, got all messed up. I couldn't sing no more. So I moved to independent film. I wanted to do 24-hour film festivals. I think that's why it lends to the 20-minute, why on a normal day I can go 20 minutes without thinking twice pretty easy. I think coming up with 20 minutes of material off the tip should be simple. I believe if I've been doing this since I was 16, a little freestyle rap, maybe that would have been possible. Not that I'm a rapper or anything, but I'm coming up with a story and idea right on the spot. I'm good around the campfire. I don't think dead air is good. Right? Why go silent? So, I did really want to get into movies after that happened. I would have to say that my spelling and punctuation really stopped me from being a writer. It turns out when I try to write something, I would need someone to edit it all, and then you get into paying people, and I just never had the resources or the time to be able to sit down and create something and get it on paper. But I could go out with no script and we could get a coherent movie. It might not have been good, but we could get a coherent movie in, I don't know, 6 hours of shooting, 4 hours of editing and uploading, and it was done. Technically, this channel started to support the movie making. Otherwise, I hadn't used YouTube. I think I've got a 2008 inception date. Otherwise, I don't think I just watched it. I wasn't even planning on doing nothing. I just wanted to put my movies up here. Most of them are not available now because the obvious reasons of switching to becoming a music reactor. And it gets people confused when there's so much off the wall stuff everywhere. Like, what's this? I hate this. Because that's the best part of the whole gig is that moment you turn the fan off and they're just like, I'm done with you. It's an inevitability in some moments. It just is. So, no, I don't think I don't actually think, I hope, as I'm a rambling, ranting goofball, technically, I hope there's a coherent narrative running through the whole thing. If you're out there looking for it, uh, as I constantly remind people, most of it is just I think I'm telling my life story one reaction at a time. It's the one thing I know best. And it wasn't the greatest life, but it was, well, it was a lot more fun than my peers uh, uh, tell me. So I guess through some privilege, being raised by hardworking people who like to travel, through some unfortunate incidences, uh, tasting the seedy side of the world hard. I mean, old Rollen is an ex-recovered. Rollen will give it all up to the drugs if so inclined. Now, I conquered that. I hope, but it's real. It sits there. So um, I think you make it my whole day with the quality of your comments, and I just really wanted to express that. Now, Robert, you don't got to feel bad about nothing. I like the Teddy swims, and I thought, right, I think they were good reactions. And honestly, this happens more than people think. It's why I'm always making that Vivo crack, right? Because the Vivo hosting that's a crapshoot. I might as well be shooting dice. Is it gonna work? Upload. No! Fail. You lost the house. It's like, wait, I put 20 minutes of excellence into that. It's going nowhere? Nope. And the thing is I am really positive there are some great individuals out there giving a little back to the reacting community, saying, hey, we know. Now, I'm not one of them, but there's names upon names that started this shit. Yeah. How much have they done to actually help some bands? I think it's a lot. And it's too bad that it isn't looked at. I think it's a symbiotic relationship. Because it turns out it's the same shit that's being said in the VIP center in the back. The two dudes smoking doobies talking shit about the sound in the nosebleed seats. Or the two people having the best time of their lives on the front row. They still reflect upon it. Maybe if we go out and find the people that lived a little, you could actually believe them and trust them. And I'm not saying me again. But I'm sure there's a really, I think there's a beneficial side to the whole thing. I don't think I'm that guy. I don't, right? I hate the cult of personality. I think you've got to cater to the cult of personality for it to become, a legit enterprise where you're helping the industry. And hey, the industry. Oh, and Langley, Kentucky. I think that's what that might mean. I'm with you on the freedom of illusion stuff. I don't believe for one minute the powers that be will let people decide by vote who the leader is. Now, I think behind the scenes. Now, this is opinion. I think there's lots of evidence that the vote can count because if you have the votes and they're there and they're countable and physical, not the shit show we're in now. I think every now and then things happen to prove that the vote can count. I think Ventura in Minnesota was a good example. I think Minnesota should wise up and think back to when they elected Ventura and not when they were convinced with their feelings to vote for the destruction of their own state. Now, I digress. I'm an ex-Minnesotan who's sad he can't live in Minnesota no more. But I do think we have a little more power than we give on. But I think that freedoms are kind of illusionary, that the illusion of choice is used to manipulate us. I do believe that, but I think it's a lot more complicated than the powers that be just make the decisions. I think a deep analysis of the hearts and minds agenda would have to be laid on the table. Um, there's a sway. I think for most of our lives here, present company all included, it's been a financial. But I believe there was a time when you might just have to actually get in your vehicle or get on your horse and go to a community. But there was community outreach, got the people's candidate, and hearts and minds swaying the decision process. I think has been explained to us many times. I don't think I'm on to anything new here, but I think that's where the illusion of freedom is if the hearts and minds of the silent middle, the morally sound majority, just minding their own business. If the will of that group was catered to, I can't imagine how much better things would be. So I think our hearts and minds are always pushed to sway for these thought leaders. Oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. I'm going to do a bunch of the same shit and enslave us more. But, that's once again, I just appreciate you taking the time. Now, I'm going to start out with Broadnecks and T2 coming up very soon. We didn't get very far into these comments. I might have to, well, I guess it's not so bad. I have some stuff coming up because I got to appreciate and thank the people who appreciate and thank me. And you know who you are. And if you don't, I believe I've mentioned you both in the last 2 days. So I got some stuff to give up. I got a little something for me to start. And I'm going to try to get calm at work. Got to try to keep the channel flowing and be creative. And I had some comments there that make me think I should keep fleshing out the story, whatever that story may be. Maybe add some twists and turns, new characters, that kind of stuff. No, I don't like new characters. Like the third season of a TV series where they've got to introduce new characters because they no longer can keep you interested in the characters you're watching. I hate that. I'm hoping that's one of the appeals, that it is so unconventional, or at least off the wall, that it has a little longevity. It might take a few weeks just to get on point around here. So, I mean, it's worth sticking with it. All right. Hey, by honest truth, this is the best I've felt since I started crapping out on reactions yesterday. Work was a shit show, really brought me down a bit. And the truth is Kimberly has every right to see what's going on in her establishment. I am wrong. But it doesn't change how uncomfortable it makes me feel. And I think to wrap this up, we'll go back to those feelings from Bon Iver. If that's what you enjoy, cool. I spend most every day trying to conquer butterflies in my stomach because I have performance anxiety. Not on record. I could just throw this away. I'm not bullshitting you. This was the third take at this because I just went off on tangents, and you don't need to hear all of that. But I understand that conquering these shitty feelings in my stomach, in the back of my head, I don't need drugs. I need logic and reason. So I can finally, 24 hours in, I can go, okay, she has every right to want to protect her shit. She's had some problems. They weren't me. It doesn't mean I'm a criminal, even though I'm an ex-con. It makes me feel that way. Once again, that's in my ballpark to have to weather. And in the end, I have to find a logical reason to want to keep performing a physical task why my feelings are overpoweringly negative. So I wonder why I rail away and indict the feelings-based society, because I think this is why the other employees last 3 days. Oh, it's just so hard. I can't, my feelings don't matter. I have to suffer through for this stupid paycheck. So feelings get in the way of what would be normally and otherwise. Yeah, and it's complicated and hypocritical because the same feelings I wanted to express in joy, listen to radio, do some stuff I had permission to, but I can't have nobody watching me have fun. That ain't your business. Not in the real world. That say I'm cooking and I'm bobbing my head and I can't have no one see that. That's not for you. That's not for them. That's not for anybody. That's only for me. And see, I don't share that with, this is an act that's real. I don't want the real life filmed. This I can turn off. This I can put disclaimers to. This I can say, hey, boy, if you're believing it too much, boy, you're watching a work of fiction, for the most part. Alternative universe work of fiction. Yes, I'm writing something. It's this. Whatever this story is. Mostly playing. I got to figure out a way to function. But I will. And I'll leave a couple of these requests in there and try to get to them as the week progresses. Later.